Brandon strikes again, forgiving student debt for millions of Americans, and doing something that will actually make him broadly popular again, and maybe salvage his approval ratings a little bit. So it's $10,000 for a lot of people. Is it everyone who is in? We'll find out. But it's $20,000 for poor people who qualified for Pell Grants, which is very good. I mean, of course people are going to say, oh, it should have been more, he could have done more, he could have canceled all student debt, which I guess technically he could have done, but I mean, you have to find a middle ground, I guess. I think I think he should have forgiven more, but I think maybe there is an issue maybe with forgiving too much debt. Maybe it will cause some problems. But well, let's see. No, I do not. Let's see what's in the forgiven and release plan.
Will it help? Now look, this is $10,000 of student debt relief if you didn't receive Pell Grants and you're earning less than $125,000 a year. If you went to college and you received Pell Grants,
excluded from college
these are low-income students, it's $20,000. Trying to address inequality here in this relief. The forgiveness applies only if you're earning less than $125,000, and the student loan pause that has been since the pandemic, that will be done at the end of December.
Extended.
So January 1st,
oh, that's right. He extended.
Loans, you're going to have to start making
the student loan pauses
here again. So this is going to affect something like 20.
I wonder if the pause affects interest rates. You can't accrue interest on your loans when it's paused, because that would be pretty good. The interest is the worst part because they're super predatory and they get way up there in price. Even if you pay off the original amount, you still owe well more than that.
20 million people will now have a zero balance on their student loans.
20 million people.
43 million people overall qualify in some way for all of this.
Yeah, a huge percentage of people who hold student debt have $20,000 or less.
Wow.
That's right. And so immediately this is breathing space in the budget for those people.
And when you talk about Pell Grants, again, people who have Pell Grants, everyone who has a Pell Grant knows they have a Pell Grant. Yeah. First of all, people who don't may not know what it is, but it helps lower income people specifically pay for college roughly $60,000 or less, correct?
Which is, of course,
right. So that's trying to address the fact that a lot of people with student loan debt are middle class Americans, right? And so you want to make sure that you're helping people on the lower end of the income.
Yeah, I saw some dumbass on Fox News say that this is going to help the richer Americans, which is just a lie. I mean, not only is it forgiving more debt for poorer students, but it only affects people making $125K or less a year. So, yeah, this is for the working man. A lot of people, they owe way more than $10,000 in debt, but even so, that is a lot of money, and it's going to spur a lot of economic activity. It's going to encourage, these people, now that they have this ball and chain taken off of them, they're going to be able to spend a lot more, and maybe actually buy a house. Probably not. That is still pretty expensive, but at least spend some money on stuff that makes them happy and stuff that will actually work on improving their lives instead of slaving away to pay off debt that they will never escape.
And ladder two.
Okay, who doesn't this help?
Well, this doesn't help anybody who went to a state school and paid for all of it, anybody who paid off all of their student loan debt, or,
of course,
as many people have criticized, people who couldn't afford to go to college in the first place and didn't and chose a different path. And there are some who are saying it's taxpayers basically subsidize.
I mean, yeah, if you didn't go to college, you don't have student loans to pay off. I mean, yeah, great analysis there. Well, I mean, yeah, this is for people who have student loans. So, what are you going to complain about? Complain about, oh, where's my $10,000? Well, you didn't go to college, so you didn't earn it. As for people who paid off their student loans and think it's unfair that now these student loans are being forgiven, sorry. That's kind of on you. You should have just not paid your student loans, huh? Did you think about that? Yeah. And it would have been forgiven. Honestly, it's kind of selfish to think that in all seriousness. It's a very self-centered way of thinking, like, oh, I had to do this thing, so other people must have to do it. Like, other people must have to work hard to pay it off. The thing about that is, like, you know, some people just can't just work harder to get all that money, right? It's not that complicated. It's not like they can't pay it off because they're lazy and they just don't want to work hard to get the money. No, it's these people are in, like, economic conditions that that don't allow them to, like, make enough money to pay it off. I mean, I imagine they would pay it off if they could, right? And all this, like, interest, the interest rates are crazy on them. They're very predatory, and so if you don't pay them off, they just keep accruing interest until you gotta pay so much more than the original amount. So it's important to pay it off or forgive it now, so you don't have to pay off more in the future. It's very, yeah, selfish, because you're saying you don't want to do this good thing for others because you're not getting it now. What did people say about it? Oh, it's like if you buy something at full price, but then it goes on sale later, it's unfair to you because you could have bought on sale. Well, I mean, it's kind of on you. Sorry, that's the way the world works. Student loan forgiveness is unfair. Well, guess what else is unfair, huh? Life. Life is unfair. Deal with it, sweetie.
Subsidizing people who are rich enough to go to college in the first place. You know,
I mean, yeah, it doesn't affect people who are wealthy enough to pay it off on their own without any help, because, like, I mean, they don't need any help. They're rich enough to pay it off on their own, so yeah.
McConnell made this point. He called it student loan socialism. And you've heard from some Republicans...
Socialism. Hell yeah. I love socialism. Sounds cool.
Democrats, that it's just not fair. A slap in the face to every family who sacrificed to save for college, every graduate who paid their debt, every American who chose a certain career path or volunteered to serve their armed forces in order to avoid taking on debt. The policy is astonishingly unfair.
Yep, unfair. That's what they all say. Well, guess what else is unfair, sweetie? Life. Life is unfair. Yeah, and volunteer to serve in our armed forces in order to avoid taking on debt. Yeah, you shouldn't have to go and serve in the military just to get an education. I mean, kudos to those who do, but there's a tweet of a guy saying, like, oh, forgiving student loans is removing the incentive for people to join the military. And it's like, oh, we can't have a all-volunteer army anymore if we don't have this. You're kind of giving the game away when you say that, right? It's kind of like, oh, we have to keep Americans impoverished and in debt so that they would be willing to, like, I don't know, go to some desert on the other side of the world to die for oil barons. Yeah. Really not a good look, sweetie.
That's what Mitch McConnell says. There are others who criticize it, saying it will be inflationary. Goldman Sachs out with a big report this morning. A lot of other economists saying in the long term it might be a little bit or maybe a wash. Remember,
in long term, okay. Yeah. I mean, Okay, so it's a slap in the face to every family who sacrificed to save for college and who paid their debt. I mean, maybe, but like, yeah, just deal with it. It's like, and what does that mean? You can't do a good thing for these people? Now these other people have to work hard? Or just like slave away at some job they hate? Just to pay off their loans because other people were lucky enough to not have to do that? I mean, this doesn't make sense. It's like, it is kind of selfish. It's just a self-centered way of thinking. It's like, this is not about you. This is not about, this is not even about the individuals who are needing this debt relief. They, this is about like, uplifting, a set of people who like need a lot of help right now. A lot of people who have student debt, they're not like doing great. They probably are not like on a great career path, right? If they were making like a lot of money, they would pay off their debt probably. Maybe they were just waiting, right? Waiting on someone to cancel the debt. But yeah. Yeah, it's not really it's not about them. It's about just like making things better for everyone, and you know, removing this debt will like spur on economic activity. It'll like encourage people to like do a lot more, and they say like it might be inflationary in the long run. Let's see.
Joe Biden made this promise before inflation was a real problem. There is something to be said for starting those student loan payments again in January. That'll take a little money out of people's budgets. That could be counter-inflationary. We'll have to wait and see. The most important thing about this was getting some of that debt off the books of young people who are being held back by it.
And if we get one moment, there's a ton of student debt out there. Student debt is the second highest amount of debt after mortgages, correct?
That's right. And you know why?
Of course, yeah, because yeah, that's why a lot of people saying it should be higher. We should forgive all student debt, but yeah, this is a good first step at least. Maybe they'll cancel student debt before the 2024 elections, right?
It's because it costs so much to go to college. This does not address the root of the problem.
Institute for College Access and Success. Oh wow, 1980 it was 10,000, and today it's up 180% at 28,000. That's, yeah, it's just too expensive to go to college now. Back in the day, you could pay for college by just working your jobs, by just working like a regular job, right? You could pay off your student loans pretty easily, or just pay for college without even taking a loan. You can save up enough money to go to college just by working at a regular job, but now, no, you can't do that. Yeah, this is like, it seems like a lot of boomers who are saying, oh, just work harder to pay off your student loans, because they don't understand like just working hard isn't like a viable strategy, not in this economy, because like things are just more expensive now, and back in their day they could just like work a minimum wage job and save enough money to just buy a car or buy a house, even not on minimum wage maybe, but like regular jobs. They don't understand like how hard people have it these days. They don't understand like you can't just get a job. There are only so many jobs out there to get, right? It's a terrible situation that millions of young people are in these days, and like and yeah, a lot of boomers just don't get it. They're self-centered themselves. They think everything is about them, right? And so they think, oh, if I did it, then these guys should be able to do it. But, you know, they don't take into consideration things have changed a lot since, I don't know, the 1980s or the 1960s. And yeah, things aren't so easy anymore.
And this is a very big problem in the American economy.
Very big.
We have just now forgiven a whole bunch of student loan debt, which is going to help people get some breathing space, as I said, in their budgets. But the winners are the colleges that just keep raising tuition again and again and again.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's
we know
true.
The value of a college degree is so important. We know you make so much more money over the course of your working lifetime if you have a college degree. We push for kids to get college degrees if it's appropriate for them, and we allow them to take on sometimes debt that it would be almost physically impossible to pay back, especially people who
physically impossible.
This doesn't do anything to get the colleges to figure out the problem with this exploding tuition cost. I understand. I read this morning that the website for the federal loans, you know, it broke down because so many people were checking. Is it clear yet how people find out how they get this money or get forgiven for this money?
So even young people around here are signing up for these alerts from the Department of Education so that they can find out, get any update about when this is going to happen. They're going to have to roll out some kind of a portal soon. They're telling people to go talk to your loan servicer, find out, you know, do you have private loans, do you have public loans, or, you know, federal loans? Figure out what your loan package looks like so you can see what needs to be forgiven and where you are. But you need to really be aware that you're going to start paying payments again in January after several years of not paying any payments. That's something that people need to start getting set up.
Yeah, so
in terms of lowering inflation.
Whoops. Okay. So yeah, that's another issue with this whole thing, is that, well, the root of the problem is not being solved, which is, you know, these universities and colleges charging like these exorbitant amounts to go to college. Like the cost of education is just like through the roof, and that's not being solved. Like we're solving like the people who have already like paid for it, right? But like people are going to keep having to take out loans, bigger and bigger loans, to pay off this increasing cost of education. I guess the cost is still going up, right? Yeah, so the solution to this is reducing the cost of education, either through, I don't know, trimming the fat around these universities. I don't know where this money is going exactly. Like, why is tuition so much higher, even though like there are so many colleges out there? We have to figure that out. We have to reduce the costs. We have to, if that means subsidizing universities with taxpayer money, then so be it, right? Okay, I don't want to read the article. Let's read some stuff. No matter what your politics are, I think we can all agree that the White House quietly making the forgiven PPP loans of Republican lawmakers, gnashing their teeth and rendering their garments over student loan relief was a pretty goddamn fucking epic power move. Yeah. Dark Brandon calling out all of these guys, all of these hypocrites. It's, yeah, it's student loans, loan forgiveness for me but not for thee. Yeah, it's I mean, they're all hypocrites. None of these people believe anything, right? Yeah. It would be nice if the Dems were snappy in public, yeah. Yeah, more Dark Brandon, please. Less politeness. Who needs to be polite? Yeah, they're starting to. Yeah, a lot of younger Democrats are more edgy. Not edgy, but like more confrontational. We'll be smart as the DNC. Yeah, it's DNC smart. Start running more targeted attack ads as well. Yeah, we'll take what we can get. Senator Rick Scott wrote the only election year plan GOP has this year. Do you want your Social Security in the hands of Ted Cruz, MPG? No. I'm thrilled my taxes go to have my taxes go towards anyone's education, because the fewer stupid people there are, the better. That's true. Oh my gosh, that's why Republicans are against education, because, of course, educated people are less likely to be Republican. And that's a joke, but it's also true, right? It's, that's why they complain about, like, universities and colleges being indoctrination centers for leftists, which it's true that education, higher education in particular, makes someone more likely to be left-wing, but that's not because they're indoctrinating the kids. It's because you know, when you go to college, you get exposed to all sorts of new ideas, new people. You're in a much more diverse environment. Often, people come from all over the country, from all sorts of different backgrounds, racial, ethnic, cultural backgrounds, even from other countries, to come to America and get the best education that they can. And for some people, it's one of the few times they meet like foreign people, if they're not like traveling abroad or something. It's one of the few times they actually get to see these people. And yeah, right-wing ideas are like really easy to sink your teeth into. They're like really easy to get on like an intuitive level, but like left-wing ideas are like, well, correct. You just need a lot more nuance and experience to understand that, right? I'd rather my tax money go to education and feeding people than bombing some brown kids in the Middle East. Yep. K-12 and a 4-year college degree should be 100% paid for by tax dollars and available to every citizen. That would be nice. The fact it's not currently available is 100% deliberate, and it's not because of the cost. There has been a concerted, ongoing effort from the right to destroy public education for decades, because the last thing they want is an educated public. Things need to change in this country, in a lot of responses. Yeah, having a educated populace is not good for the Republicans. Even though it will be good for the economy for more people to be educated, they don't want educated people. They want slaves. They want, or maybe not slaves, but obedient worker bees. They want you to be subservient to them and be used to following orders and not questioning like your place in the world. That's why they're against like teaching literature and history, because when you do that, you gotta think about the context of things. You have to think about looking at things from a different perspective, and you have to really like learn how to think critically, other than like math or science, which is important, of course, but it doesn't require the same level of high level thinking, critical thinking that other things do. With math problems, it's just like computers can do them. Computers can even do science nowadays. Computers can come up with different chemicals or different proteins that humans can't even come up with. So computers can never write a good novel or understand history or learn from history. That's a human task, and humans have to do what humans do best. And like, since a computer can do all these things, that means it's really simple, right? Computers are smart because they can do a lot of simple tasks really fast. That's right. I mean, they can do like 300 calculations per second or something, or more probably. And that's great if you want to solve dynamical systems, but not so great if you actually want to run a society, right? Yeah. So, Dark Brandon rises, forgive student debt. Let's go. So, let's look at this. Student debt. If you wanted to have your full student debt forgiven, you should have... Whoops. Are some people being mad at Biden for not fulfilling his pledge to cancel all student debt? I'm not interested in hearing people mad about Biden for canceling at least some of that debt. There was an election, deal with it. Ooh, yeah, he ran on forgiving debt. Forgiving all undergraduate tuition-related federal student debt. Yeah. It's only fair that he keep, like, at least a little bit of that promise. Right? Ugh. Yeah, I mean, most politicians don't live up to their promises, but at least Biden did, like, a little something. As many as 43 million borrowers can benefit from my administration's student loan debt relief plan. Nearly 45% have had their loans fully canceled. That's 20 million people. That is a lot. Hopefully, this might salvage Biden's poll numbers. I mean, maybe it'll be in the high 30s now instead of the low 30s. Yeah, this is genuinely a great move. This is going to be really good thing that'll spur a lot of economic activity. I'm not sure what the downside is. They said there will be inflation, but like there's already plenty of inflation, so like just let it rip, right? Who cares? I mean, that is bad, but they said that might not even be that bad, the inflation caused by this in the long run, of course. And of course, I guess it adds to the federal debt, but I mean, that's already like 20 trillion. If you're upset about the 10K student loan debt forgiveness, let me tell you about how the billionaires have been avoiding taxes all these years. Oh yeah. That's true. Not only that, but like all the federal subsidies that that billionaires and corporations get. Literally tens of billions of dollars a year get just pumped into these corporations to prop them up. Yeah. Not such a free market after all. And what do they get in return? Nothing. Yeah, they're giving federal subsidies to Elon Musk and Tesla, as if Tesla needs any help. I heard actually Tesla might be not getting as much loans soon, which would be nice. Ever since Mar-a-Lago got raided, gas prices dropped and my student loan debt was erased. I've had this bounce in my stat. This is nice. Are those tits? Cool. Socialist boomer. Huh. Yeah, this is America under Biden. Average day in the Biden presidency. Sanders has highest favorability among possible 2024 contenders poll. He's among. That's sus. He's the imposter in the Democrat Party. He literally is, though. I mean, he's not a Democrat, but he's the imposter candidate. The imposter candidate, yeah. If Biden won't cancel the rest of student debt, then we need someone to run who will. Even if only to pressure him into finishing the job. I mean, yeah. You gotta pressure him. You gotta run just as a threat, as an idle threat. Yeah, Biden's thinking about, should I cancel more student debt? And he looks behind him and he sees Bernie staring at him, giving him the dead stare, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. You have to yield. Joe Biden. And just, haunting him. The specter of communism. Yeah, haunting Biden from beyond the grave. Actually, though, Bernie is more healthy than Biden. Probably mentally and probably physically as well. I mean, I know Bernie is older than Biden by like 2 years or 1 year, but still, Bernie actually seems in better shape than Biden. I think Bernie had like a heart attack in 2020, but he started eating more salad, so he's fine. Right? Democrats' student loan policies relieve almost half of the existing Latino student debt. Cool. Oh, and the Justice Department just released the redacted affidavit in Trump search. Oh man, there's so much to go over, but I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, and I gotta go on a vacation because my stupid family. Oh well. The GOP kept using oil and gas workers as a talking point to the student debt forgiveness conversation. The oil and gas industry has skilled workers that oftentimes have associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees. They don't even know the people they're tokenizing. Yeah. They're always like, oh, you shouldn't go to college, you should just go to all these trade schools. Well, a lot of these tradesmen also require a lot of education, like coders. You gotta go to college to learn how to code. You gotta go to college to learn all sorts of physical skills. And we're gonna see that later on down here. Where is it? Uh-oh. Ben Shapiro on why Biden's student debt relief plan is egregious. Biden is now attacking everyone who pays their bills on behalf of people who don't. Let's see the response. Just be like Ben and have your parents pay for Harvard, yeah. Just, yeah, just have rich parents, like Ben did. Get good. Stop paying taxes. Yeah, what about the PPP loans who were forgiven? As a European conservative, I've always had trouble to understand why it's not obvious for my dear American equivalents that healthcare and education are fundamental to the equality of opportunity. A 23-year-old can't leave college with a 200k debt. It's simply an aberration. Yeah, 200k is crazy. Yeah, even conservatives in Europe are pro this, right? First year of law school. Oh, this is the one where it bounces back and hits his face. Why is the video so long?
I'm a body. I can think. Yeah, you are not better than me at all. Yeah, I'll teach you.
I'll teach you. Oh.
Yeah, I'll teach you.
Oh my gosh, that was a sound. Big sound. Uh-oh. Nose bleeding. Oh, run away. Run away. Let's see. Anyway, members of Congress make 200k a year. Why do they qualify for loans in the first place? Yeah. They're at no risk of losing their jobs. Yeah, why did they take loans? Like, for what? What are they taking loans for, even? They should have paid back their loans. Yeah, at least... Yeah, why are they having loans forgiven? Do they not have the money to pay them back? That's, Ben Shapiro thinks he's so epic walking up to the screen like
They hate you. If you own a business, they hate you.
Yeah,
if you hate your student loan, they hate you.
Yes, I hate you, Ben. You're right about one thing, Ben. I hate you. Nice. Imagine a world where a working class dude wondering why you can't have healthcare from the government and then finding out that wealthy person got student debt relief. Why don't they have healthcare from the government, Bob? Also, wealthy people aren't getting student debt relief. Like, this is just more evidence they don't have any arguments. Not only have wealthy people already paid off their student debt. I mean, by wealthy, do they mean like middle-class people who don't have like 50K to spend on student debt? Yeah, why don't they have healthcare from the government? That should be the question that you ask. I mean, yeah, that's a great argument. Yeah. First step is, the first step is student debt relief. Next step in Dark Brandon's plan for America, universal healthcare. You're gonna get healthcare and you're gonna like it. What I've observed in these student loan rants is that a lot of people aren't really mad about the debt forgiveness part. It's the fact that a good chunk of student borrowers aren't sorry about borrowing money in the first place, and they're not sorry about not wanting to repay it. Ooh, that's a good point. It's not about the money. It was never about the money. It was about the principle. Oh, I'm still full screens. Okay, that's okay, right? Yeah, don't you get it? It was never about the money. It was about the principle. You can't just take money from us and not pay it back. Okay? That means you don't respect us. You gotta learn some respect, young man. But no. I do not respect the government. I do not respect loan sharks. Nah, I'm gonna get educated and you're gonna be happy about it. Yeah, you should be thanking me for educating myself so I can be a productive member of society. Scrolling through Twitter at 11:30. Oh wow, 11:40. If you wanted to have your full student debt forgiven, you should have formed a fraudulent LLC and signed it up as a student. Yeah, why did you just do that? Yeah, just get on your grind set, just like these old guys. Yeah, Donald Trump said anyone who's smart does tax evasion. Any rich guy who's smart can hire lawyers who do tax evasion for him, right? Kurt Schilling had tens of millions of dollars for debt forgiven after his game studio was a fucking disaster. Oh yeah, that's the guy who, yeah, him whining about student loan forgiveness is the biggest L since he fucked over Rhode Island. That's the guy who, he started a video game company that failed, and then he's like, oh, I'm a small business owner. I have so much experience in business, and then... No, he didn't. He had experience losing, taking L's, and he just took another big L with this. English professor here just heard an economist on NPR say debt relief incentivizes colleges to offer more low-value degrees. He means, of course, the humanities. God forbid students learn there's more to life than maximizing profit. Yeah. That's a good point. This is a very privileged view. Some people need to have a clear path to income. Volunteer to help first-gen students understand how you get from a humanities degree to a great job. It's a no-brainer for some. For others, there are many obstacles. It's not. One, humanities majors tend to do well. That's true. The myth of the useless English degree is just that, a myth. Two, I do work with my students, especially first-gen, to think practically and find good jobs. One thing we work on is not proceeding on assumptions, as you've just done. Ah. But he just said it's not all about maximizing profit. Yeah, humanities majors do well, in general. Yeah, there's a lot of, there's a lot of stuff in the humanities. But yeah, like I said before, this stuff requires, like, more critical thinking skills, like higher level thinking, creative thinking, which is, more important as the more mundane tasks get automated. I mean, like, computers can do, like, most math problems now, basically. So, like, there will always be some things that humans can do that computers can't, and we gotta figure out what that is so we can train people on that. Keffels is trending again. Okay, cool. It's working out super great for computer science majors to have no background in ethics, history, etc. Democracy is rock solid. Media literacy is strong. Yeah. It's not healthy for stem cells to just research STEM stuff and never like dip their toe into understanding people, because like they're just robots, right? They're just unthinking, unfeeling machines who just slave away at a computer all day, right? It's not cool. It's interesting that as people continue to diminish and push people away from the humanities, the general lack of empathy in society seems to have diminished. Very curious. Curious indeed. So far I know, English professors haven't helped destabilize and ruin whole countries. I think you win on that count. Yeah, English professors are not very likely to be Republicans. Which are the people doing that? Yeah. So, yeah, the lack of focus in humanities courses is one of the reasons why, like, there's such a poor understanding of, like, social issues in America, because, a lot of these people just don't understand how people work at all. And being conservative already inclines you, to be, like, less empathetic and less understanding of other people and like the struggles that they're going through. So so yeah, not requiring them to like learn any single thing about how people work or how society as a whole like functions. A lot of these people, like, they're so individualist, right? They can't like comprehend like humans coordinating on a mass scale. It's all about like individual actions, which individuality is fine. It's great, of course, but we human beings gotta work together, you know? We've come this far as a species by working together, not by just being selfish and looking out for our own. Just for ourselves. We gotta care about other people. I hear Republicans complaining about $20,000 in student debt forgiveness. Funny, I didn't hear those complaints when Trump declared bankruptcy 6 times and $287 million in loans forgiven by big banks. The GOP loves socialism for the rich, rugged individualism for the rest. This is the thing Bernie has been saying for decades. Socialism for the rich, rugged individualism for the poor and middle class. Yeah, $287 million in loans forgiven by big banks. Literally, why? Why? Because Trump is such a good businessman, he had to have those loans forgiven. Wait, he couldn't pay those loans? I thought he was super rich. Curious. Yeah, a lot of people who don't pay their student loans don't pay because they literally don't have the money to pay. It's not like they don't want to pay. It's that they can't. Oh, and here is Reagan. Reagan, who is still haunting America from beyond the grave. One of those weird US things where we move so far right we forget. Then not going to student debt was simply the norm just 50 years ago. Yeah, back then it was normal to not go into debt, to go into education. Tuition and fees increase, median income increase, minimum wage increase. Well, yeah, the minimum wage has not increased since 2010. Did it increase then? I thought it was earlier than that. But yeah, median income is not going up that much either, but oh my gosh, tuition and fees going up so much. How? We have to solve this problem. It's just simply too expensive. Education should be free, etc. Yeah, whatever. Different choices could be made to make it free. Keep the pressure on, push for debt cancellation for education. It's been noted like a million times, but in this context worth thinking about. When a lot of people loudly criticizing debt cancellation went to college, and when it fails on where it falls on the timeline. A lot of people these people went to college, and maybe they had some debt to pay off. Most of them happened to be in Congress. Oh my gosh. When Mitch McConnell went to the University of Louisville, tuition was $330 a year or a semester. I mean, that's literally nothing. Oh my gosh. Well, he went to university when you could buy a lunch, when you could buy a sandwich for like 5 cents, right? Those were good old days. Yeah, he went to university like in the 1940s or something. He went when we were still fighting World War II or something. Yeah, this could be us, but Mom and Dad thought Reagan was cool. Yeah, Reagan was not cool. He was the original Trump. He tricked a lot of people to thinking he's cool with his flashy rhetoric. Ever notice how MTG's world collapsed over forgiving student debt loans struggling Americans? But she's silent about her personal loan forgiveness when she never needed it. Of course, they're all hypocrites. Student debt fight is why understanding the history of race construction, racism, and race hierarchy is critical. Our divestment in public goods begins with integration. And black people getting access. Large numbers of white people opposing economic policies who think black people would benefit. Yes, of course, this would benefit minorities more, but apparently Nina Turner said that black families are more in debt. I guess because they gotta take out more loans because they don't have much money. Same states that before integration looked with pride about funding public universities and worked to make public universities that could compete with any private one, now work to defund public universities and label them as elitist. Oh, that's a good point. They were all for funding education when it was only white people who could be educated. Curious once again. Where we saw public schools as a communal good and public universities as a societal good that produce an educated, informed, and skilled populace, we're now told college is solely about producing high-earning workers and individual achievement and individual sacrifice. Yeah, education should be about creating well-rounded individuals that are knowledgeable and like skilled and wise in all sorts of subjects. That's an important thing. Wisdom. We must cultivate wisdom more than just mere knowledge. Yeah, white people will hurt themselves just to hurt black people, literally. Sometimes they don't realize that that their racism is holding them back, and that like by making things better for everyone, they'll also make things better for themselves. But like maybe they're just too stupid to realize that, or maybe they just hate minorities that much that they'll shoot themselves in the foot if it means shooting down those as well. Student loan debt canceled, inflation down, gas prices plummeting, unemployment all-time low, Democrats delivering, Brandon dark. Dark Brandon rising. Dark Brandon has awoken and he is taking names, literally. Debt transfer. Only forgive student loans. Wait, the only group who can forgive student loans are the universities who got the money? Wait, what? That's literally not true. They're not the people they owe money to. This is just untrue. Congress is the only body that can absolve student debt. Congress holds the purse strings. The debt isn't held by universities, it's held by banks. Yeah, that's the debt. I mean, the colleges got the money from the loans, but like they didn't get the they didn't give out the loans, therefore they don't own the debt. They're not who people are indebted to. That's just, yeah. Another example of right-wing people just being stupid, not understanding how things work. Fishing about student loan relief on Truth Social when the site owns 1.6 million in unpaid bills. Oh yeah, that's apparently a thing. Truth Social not paying its bills. Yeah, that's a Trump thing apparently. Trump does not like paying up. Apparently has a thing throughout his whole life. He did not pay people for the work that he made them do. Just because he thought he'd get away with it. But hey, he can't keep getting away with it. And looks like the FBI is on his ass, and maybe he won't. Maybe he finally will face some consequences for his actions. The White House has publicly called out Matt Gaetz and MTG for complaining about student loan debt forgiveness after having their PPP loans forgiven. Dark Brandon at it again. Dark Brandon is taking more victims. Yes, I saw some other tweets. Here we go. We shouldn't forgive anyone's student debt. We should transfer all the debt to opinion columnists. I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. All these people went to Harvard anyway, right? So they probably make enough money in their shitty jobs writing awful opinions. Pay off some of that debt. Oh, you love debt that much? Well, I have about 50,000 you could take. It's all yours. Don't need it or want it. Yeah, I want Brett Stevens to pay for my mortgage. I won't rest until Brett Stevens' paychecks are going directly to my bank account. Yes. Typical socialist wanted to take other people's money. Well, maybe it will be better with us than with you. I like how you think and would like to make you president. Yes, transgender marks for presidents. Oh yeah. Cannot stress this enough. Federal student debt payments have been paused since March 2020. If you made any payments since then, you can request a refund through your student loan servicer. That money quite literally belongs to you. That's cool. I wanna see like how this works, how the payment pause works exactly. Sam Hyde is trending. Oh gosh. So the money you paid from 2020 goes back into your checking accounts and back on your remaining balance, so you can apply to get that additional balance forgiven. Yes, you can call and get all your payments after March 2020 refunded. The loan amount returns to what it was before you made your payments. Okay, cool. Sanders, Donald Trump, the Republicans gave the Koch family a $1.4 billion tax break. Now they want you to believe that they are on the side of the working class because they oppose canceling $20K in student debt for a worker. Making $60K a year? Give me a break. Give me a break. Yeah, I think I ought to end it soon. Oh, hell yeah. Every opinion piece on how forgiving student loan debt is bad includes a graphic that looks like this. Dark Brandon. This is reaching people who can't tell if I made this to make fun of Biden or Republicans or forgiving student loans. I'm going to be honest, I just need to make something dumb in Photoshop a few times a month to feel justified in paying for my monthly photography subscription. Photography? A Photoshop subscription? Hell yeah. Dark Brandon. Just making those Franklins rain from the sky. Hell yeah. I got, you know I had to snap that picture up. Whenever I hear they should have gone to trade school, I know you know nothing about predatory loans in schools that saddle students with excessive debt under the pretense of learning marketable skills and trades in a short period of time. They did what you said to do, and it's infuriating. Yeah, it's another thing where they don't understand what's going on. Like, they did go to trade school, they did what you told them to do, and they're still in this debt trap. Here we go. Republicans in Congress who believe student debt shouldn't be forgiven, I will never apologize for helping America's middle class, especially not to the same folks who voted for a $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy and giant corporations that racked up the deficit. Hell yeah. Dark Brandon will never apologize. He'll never... And he will never forgive and never forget and will never stop. The amount of debt forgiveness to businesses receiving PPP loans, 95,700. The average amount of debt. If forgiveness. If we could afford to cancel hundreds of billions of PPP loans to business owners in the time of need, please do not tell me we cannot not afford to cancel all student debt for 45 million Americans. And here it is. Okay, this is going to be the last one. I paid my student debt off. I have nothing to gain from supporting this, other than living in a more harmonious society. The only reason you believe this is you are, in fact, a giant piece of shit. Yeah, no. Matt Walsh, again. All this comes down to these people being selfish and self-centered and not understanding, like, how other people feel. Like, not being empathetic people, right? I mean, Matt Walsh is just a terrible person in general. More terrible than your average Republican, maybe. But, like, I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of shitty people out there. At least be honest and stop pretending that you have principled reasons for your stance. But I do. I mean, I don't have any student loans to pay off, and I'm very fortunate for that. I want to do it because, yeah, it'll be good for everyone. All these people will... I guess I'm just like an empathetic person. I'm sorry. I just like it when good things happen to people. It's going to like spur economic activity because like people will have this huge economic weight lifted from their shoulders now. And here we go. The white trash socialist. This person is super base, so I should follow them. It's hilarious how people who have never worn a hard hat or worked a single day in a trade keep speaking for us, Lamau. I have no student debt and an electrician and think all student debt should be cancelled and college should be free. Cope harder. And here is this. Inflation and gas prices are crushing my savings accounts. Thanks for paying off my gender studies degree. Logan Hall. This actually has... You never complain about your tax money being used to bomb Afghan kids in school for 20 years. And this is where you draw the line. And this is a, of course, disgusting, transphobic caricature or cartoon or whatever. So yeah. So this person has no student debt and thinks all student debt should be cancelled and college should be free. Another example of just being an empathetic person, just being a good person, goes a long way. Okay, well, that's it for tonight. I'm very tired. So, in conclusion, conservatives, they're just bad people. Sorry, they don't care about other people. If they did, they would want good things to happen to people. Not only that, like, this forgiving student loans also makes practical sense. So this isn't about economics. This isn't about I don't know, like making sure like people get paid. This is about like enforcing their idea of fairness on the world. Like they keep saying, oh, it's not fair that all these people can just get away with not paying it. Well, sorry, you know, life's not fair. Sorry, sweetie. This is how it is. And you just gotta deal with it. Trust us. The rest of us know that life isn't fair, okay? Life has been fair for you. Well, life has been unfair in your favor for a very long time. And now that it's getting more fair for other people, you're getting upset? Okay. Your priorities are really in order. I can tell. And we'll see if like canceling student loan debt has any actually bad effects. They said it might have some inflationary stuff in the long run. They said it'll just add on to the federal debt, but of course the federal debt is already like 22 trillion something, so like I guess we'll just solve that later. Maybe we'll forgive that debt too. Why don't we forgive all debt? Everyone is indebted to everyone else. Why can't we just chill and be cool and be like, hey, I did you a solid, so you can thank me later, or not thank me. You can just thank me and you don't have to pay me. How about that? Why can't we just all get along? But no, we can never get along as long as these monsters are still in control of government, which is why you gotta vote. Get out there and vote, people. Oh, I voted and realized once I got there that I didn't know who to vote for. So look up who to vote before you go and do that. Just get involved with politics and everything. You know, just know what's going on. You know, just get involved. Just start talking to people, and we'll make the world a better place together. Okay. Goodbye and good night.